You're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good morning, members of the subcommittee, and thank you, Chairman Jordan and Ranking Member Ms. Plaskett, for inviting me here today. My name's Shanlon Wu. I'm the child of immigrants from China who came here seeking freedom and to avoid political persecution under the communist government there. And they came here as graduate students, and after the Communist Revolution, they were stranded here and made a life here. Luckily for me, they did come here because they didn't know each other in China. So they met here and they had me. And they instilled in me a great love for family, despite the fact that I had no extended family growing up, as well as a very strong sense of public service. My father served under 2 New York City mayors as a New York City Human Rights Commissioner, and his example of public service led me to attend law school, and then later to become a federal prosecutor, where I served as an assistant U.S. attorney for 10 years, and had the privilege in the last year of the Clinton administration to serve as counsel to then Attorney General Janet Reno. From that particular position, where my portfolio included liaisoning for the Office of Pardon Attorney, overseeing various criminal issues, as well as briefing the Attorney General on a number of daily issues that would arise in the Justice Department, it gave me very much of a bird's eye view of the kinds of issues and the approach that the department takes as what is appropriately calling them the nation's law firm. It is through this lens that I give you my personal opinion today, which does not reflect the opinions of my law firm, McGlinchey Stafford, or any other entities. The view that I have of the recent conviction of the former president in the Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's case, where he was convicted of 34 felony counts, and also my impressions of the recent presidential immunity decision by the Supreme Court and whether or not that affects the verdict in that case in any way. And lastly, my views that there is a growing shadow, a threat to American democracy presented by many of the former president's views, as well as the way that those views are expressed in certain types of writings, such as the plan for presidential transition known as Project 2025. In particular, because of my experience at the Justice Department, I would highlight some of the issues with these plans as they relate to the Justice Department. When I was at the Justice Department, I found that there is enormous value in the career employees there. They were the heart and soul of the department, the conscience, as well as the institutional wisdom there. I remember on an almost daily basis when there were thorny issues, new issues that came up, that Ms. Reno, the Attorney General, would always want to know what the take was from career civil servants there. And it was not just the more famous ones, such as David Margolis or Jack Keeney, who served for decades at the department, but the rank and file people who were unsung heroes, who always provided their best advice. And that advice is important because they, as career employees, their tenures cut across administrations. They weren't simply put in there by the latest administration, and therefore they did not always reflect the political views or even the policy goals of the new administration. And in that sense, they supplied a very healthy buffer zone to make sure that whatever new policy ideas would be measured against what the department had done in the past and what their experience told them was wise for the department. To me, that gives the institution both a sense of integrity as well as steadiness. And that kind of steadiness and integrity is what allows the American people to have confidence in their institutions. My parents were cut off from their families, but they stayed here. And they stayed because of the great love of the freedoms that this country has tried to give all of its people. And as I see the current climate today, one of my concerns is that those freedoms are endangered by an increasing trajectory towards authoritarianism, autocracy, and even dictatorship types of tendencies. My testimony is prepared in writing as well, and of course, very happy to answer any questions.
Gentleman yields back. We will now proceed under the